And I think it's very important for everybody to be engaged because that everybody's on the same page.
It's about, who's willing to change gears at the right time.
Go out, go have fun, and just take it to them.
For Wheeling University Athletics, I'm Zach Ziegler. It's time for another edition of the Chris Richardson Show. Currently joined by Wheeling University head men's basketball coach Chris Richardson. And Chris, you split the opening weekend up at West Liberty, a big win over Cal U on Friday, then a loss to Clarion on Saturday. Talk about the weekend as a whole and what you saw.
Yeah, would have liked to finish it on Saturday. I thought we controlled the game from the tip, and we've really talked about eliminating empty possessions because those not only hurt your offense, but they put your defense in a really tough spot. They put a lot of pressure on your defense. And we had some empty possessions once we got the lead that we weren't necessarily taking bad shots, but we could have gotten better ones. I felt like we settled a little bit. And then as they started to, make their run, it's like we were trying to eliminate the run all at once instead of just being focused and settled and taking it possession by possession. So something we're going to learn from that we already have. Loved our fight to get back in the game. Credit Clarion. They made the shots and the plays at the end of the game that they needed to do to win the game. We made a good run at them down the stretch. They had a lot to do with the fact that we couldn't get over the hump. And so learning from those situations and meeting with some of our guys over some of the situations we found ourselves in and how we handled it and how we may want to handle them moving forward. But overall, very pleased with the effort over the weekend, the connectedness. Had a buddy that's a long-time NBA scout and coach at the college level, coach at the pro level as well. That watched the game and talked about, the word he used was synergy. Our team played with a lot of synergy. And so we got to keep that going. And now we go on the road and then end of the week finally get our home opener. And, we just got to keep getting better.
And looking at that first game against Cal, you guys were down for most of the game, battled back at the end of the second half. Talk about what was working for you and the grit your team showed.
We were down, and they run really good offense. They're so hard to guard. And, our game plan going in, you go in with your game plan and you drill it home and you work on it. And then you got to have an adjustment ready. And credit our guys, they were able to take the adjustment that we made and carry it out. And it really helped us defensively, just in terms of being in the right position, settled us down a little bit and kept them from playing maybe with the pace in the half court that they were able to play with to start the game. But even when they got ahead, they were certainly in control of the game, but I never felt like we were just out of the game. We just kept – it was a great game. We'd make a run, they'd make a run. We'd make a run, they'd make a run. And then at the end, I thought our depth was really our strength. And we talked about that. Like, we have to outlast them because they're good. They're well coached, they're talented, and they're going to make plays and they're going to have runs, but we are the deeper team. And I thought our depth was really showcased in both games. And obviously I think it's a big reason why we won on Friday night. And I'll credit Alex Smith. We had walked through that play and shoot around earlier in the day, right after our women's basketball game, just walking through, hey, if we need a full court play at the end of the game, here's what we're doing. And so they were familiar with it. It wasn't exactly as we lined it up because we had some foul issues and lineups are a little different. Alex is normally the guy throwing the ball in that situation, and Caleb Murray stepped up to throw the ball in, and Alex was the guy with the ball. But situational awareness is so critical in any sport, but especially in basketball. And in that situation, where your shooters are, how much time you have, where there's 4 seconds left. So we said you got at most 4 dribbles. But the defender reached his arm in. And when he did that, Alex immediately went into his shot. And he was able to draw the foul. And, credit to him for knocking down the first 2 free throws. We would have preferred that he missed the third just to keep it from anything crazy happening with 0.3 of a second left. But I don't know, maybe stat padding a little bit there at the end, helping that free throw percentage. But no, big-time play by him and just big-time grit and resilience from our guys. And you could feel it up and down the bench. Every player on the roster was engaged, locked in, and it was a very happy locker room after.
And that depth that you talked about is one thing I wanted to touch on. You had a lot of different guys step up throughout the weekend. T. Harris, Caleb Murray, Aiden Gall all had big games throughout the weekend. Talk about that depth and having so many guys to go to.
Yeah, I mean, we do. We got a lot of depth. Kurt can play. Trev has gotten so much better. He gave us great minutes. Trevor Beresford, both Friday and Saturday, just gave us outstanding minutes. And he had been sick earlier in the week, so he was able to bounce back and play well. Caleb, his all-around game has just come so far in his 4 years here. And, there's an urgency that sets in on seniors. And it's really cool to see as a coach. There's an inherent sadness about it too, because it's the last time you're going to get to coach them these next 30 games. But it's cool to see how far they've come, and then that's one of the reasons you coach, to see that moment where the things that you've harped on with them and that they've asked questions about and this that, and when it starts to settle in. And so the urgency of our seniors gets me really excited about not just this past weekend or this week, but how close we can get to reaching our full potential, right? That's what we're all chasing. And so you saw that this weekend, and it does. It helps your younger guards, your guys like Aiden, who's a redshirt freshman. DJ Wingfield's a freshman. Chance Hartwell's a freshman. Derek Wilson got in. He's a freshman. We got a lot of younger guys that played. Lamar played. Chris English, junior college player that has hit the ground running here for us. So we've got experienced guys that have been through it. We got a lot of new guys that are impacting our team now. We got more that are going to continue to impact the team as it goes on. We weren't even able to get everybody in the game that maybe we thought we could. And so depth is key, but we have to continue to work and understand that, when our number's called, we got to be ready.
Currently joined by Wheeling University head men's basketball coach Chris Richardson. And Chris, you continue your stretch against the PSAC this week with Slippery Rock coming up here on Wednesday, and then another game later in the week, your home opener against Winston-Salem. Looking at Slippery Rock first, talk about their game and kind of what you're seeing.
Yeah, they're tough. They're gritty. They're experienced. They just smacked West Virginia Wesleyan on Friday night. Really set the rules from the tip on that game. And, very good in transition. They got a lot of weapons. They got a couple guys that can shoot it. They got some young guards, but they got a lot of experienced older players around them. They're pretty good inside. Isaac James transferred in from Salem, so we're very familiar with him, having faced him twice last year. Ike Herster, a veteran guy, that senior urgency I talked about, he's been there for a few years. You see that with him. Maceo Austin has played a lot of basketball and had some very big nights for him. And so, and then off the bench, they're pretty deep. They got Shamora that comes in that really, really impacted the game against us a year ago. And they've got a lot of good players, and we've talked about every year that we've played them. Ian played for me at Fairmont my first year of coaching, and he's done a great job. And so we're going to have our hands full Wednesday night at Slippery Rock, but that's what we want, because we're going to have our hands full when we get in the Mountain East play here in a couple of weeks, when we get into January, February. These moments begin to challenge you in ways that you cannot replicate in practice. And if you can find ways to learn from them in the moment, adjust in the moment, and do what it takes to win, then that does a lot for your team moving forward.
And then Sunday, you guys get to come home from your home opener against Winston-Salem. Talk about what it's going to be like for the guys, just getting back in their home court and getting to see their home fans for the first time.
Yeah, it'll be great. Had to adjust the schedule a little bit with a couple things going on in the gym, but Sunday at noon, we'd love to see you. It's kind of a doubleheader the opposite way we normally do, which will be cool. We get to play first, and then Coach Skeen's team comes out at 2 o'clock and plays second. And so hopefully we see a good crowd. I know locally there's been a lot of excitement about both teams. I've been stopped numerous times and had a lot of people, whether it's talking about the WVU game or the game the other night or the women's game on Saturday. There's an excitement right now, not just about basketball, but about our campus. And it's tangible. You can feel it across the community, that the relationship between the community and Wheeling University is as strong as it's been at any point in a number of years. And so, home events are a great day to showcase that and a great way to get the community involved. And we always love playing at home. We love playing in our gym. We feel we got a great home court advantage. Routine-wise, it makes it a little bit simpler, but that's several days away. We're focused on Slippery Rock right now as we record this, but I'm sure by the time we get to Sunday, we're going to be really excited for the opportunity to play on our home court again, and hopefully we get a good crowd of people out there.
And finally, you've stacked up a bunch of tough teams here in your non-conference schedule. Talk about these games and kind of how they prepare you for your conference stretch coming up here in a couple weeks.
Yeah. Iron sharpens iron, right? And so, the PSAC West in particular, number one, it's accessible. We're an hour and a half from Slippery Rock. Cal and Clarion didn't have to drive very far to get over to West Lib. You can play a lot of teams from that area. we're always going to play good teams. Mountain East is a good league, and to win in the Mountain East, you have to be battle tested. We could go out and play a bunch of teams that maybe aren't Division II teams or even NCAA teams and try to pile up wins and stats and all that, but it's not going to make us better. Our goals all center around conference play, Mountain East play, and playing our best in February and March. And playing good teams early in the season gives you the opportunity to get better. It shows you what you're bad at. It shows you what you're good at, and allows you to improve and adjust and tinker and really shape the journey of your team from a strategic standpoint, but also when guys go through those moments together, whether it's a big moment like the Cal game the other night or a tough moment like Saturday, it builds your team. It's the ultimate team builder. And so playing tough teams is not fun in the moment necessarily, or certainly not fun. I had to stack up on my Advil and my heartburn medicine this weekend, but it's going to help us down the road, and you want to help it with a win, and that's the goal every night, and that's what we expect to go in there and have the opportunity to do. But most of all, we want to compete. Continue to raise the standard of what playing hard is and what competing is for our team and our program, and know that when we get into January, February, and March, that these moments right now are the ones that help shape us and show us how good we can be and what that full potential is.
Thanks, Chris. Good luck this week. Can't wait to see you out there.
Thanks, Zach. Go Cards.
For Wheeling University Athletics, I'm Zach Ziegler.
And I think it's very important for everybody to be engaged because that everybody's on the same page.
It's about, who's willing to change gears at the right time.
Go out, go have fun, and just take it to them.